What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Parlay Playbook podcast, hosted by me, Quentin. Um, this is the first official full episode, so episode 1 of the solo podcast, if that's what you want to go with. So today, I really just want to touch base on the week 1 games and the kind of like the spreads and stuff like that, and we go over a couple bets and some props and stuff like that. I'm going to start off we'll start talking about the Chiefs and Ravens kickoff game. But we'll just see the lines as right now, about 6:30 in the Eastern Standard Time. We are looking at about a 54 to 46% split in favor of the Kansas City Chiefs to win that game. I mean, defending Super Bowl champs. They're at home in Arrowhead. Patrick Mahomes, come on now. The spread right now looks like it's opening up at about 3.5, favored by the Chiefs, with a 46.5 over under in point margin, with the under being favored. Now, a lot of people like to play it safe, and they're like, "Oh, I'll just pick the winner of the game," which is cool. I mean, you pick the Chiefs to win or the Ravens to win, and so on and so forth. Me personally, I'm more of like a parlay guy, hence the name. We like to combine picks together because I would like more reward for the risk I'm putting in. So, for instance, we'll go, like I said, we touched on this game in the last video, so I'm not going to go too in depth on it, but we can start with like the passing props for Lamar Jackson. They have them set low 150 or high, 275. I'm not gonna say he won't, but with them getting Derrick Henry in the offseason, I don't see him trying to be pass heavy. I feel like they're trying to set the tone with Derrick Henry, first game out, road game, defending champs. They just met AFC Championship game, So, like I said in my earlier video, I like Lamar Jackson for a solid 200. 200 passing yards, 200 plus. Patrick Mahomes, I can get him a little bit more pass heavy, so I like him for 225. He opens up 200, all the way up to 325. Now, what I can say this last season, the last season with Patrick Mahomes, taking his over 250, 275, it's a hit or miss. I've seen him ball out against really good teams and ball out against really bad teams and still throw sub 275 passing yards. So to be safe, like I said, 200 Lamar, 225 Patrick Mahomes on passing. I feel like those are locked in. If you're not feeling Lamar's 200, you could drop him down to 175. I mean, you're balling against a good offense. Both offenses are actually really good. So I just don't see 200, 175 sticking on the board. I feel like he could definitely throw in about 200. So then you go down to the rushing side of things. So obviously with the acquisition of Derrick Henry, they're going to be running the ball. I mean, they were already a run heavy offense, but I feel like now more so than ever, they're going to run the ball. So they have the prop line open up for Derrick Henry at 40 rushing yards, all the way up to 120 rushing yards. I feel like Derrick Henry is definitely going to be somewhere in the middle of that. I like him personally for right around that 60 to 70 yard range. He could totally break one for 50 and then hit the over 120, but I like him for that 70 yard range. Isaiah Pacheco, he opens up 25 to 110. 110, that's an ask. But I do like him at that 40 to 50 yard range. He can run downhill. He can grab you 10 yards or 8 yards or something like that a carry, every now and again. So I like him for that 40. Lamar rushing yards. We already know Lamar, he takes off, but he takes off when he's needed. So I probably won't dabble in a quarterback run. You got Lamar at 25 rushing yards up to 90 rushing yards. We've seen him do both. I've also seen him never take off in a game. So I probably won't touch the Lamar Jackson props because nothing hurts more than putting together a perfect ticket and hoping your quarterback takes off for 25 and he just doesn't do it. So we're not even going to worry about that. Same with Patrick Mahomes. We're just not going to entertain anything like that. You can go down to the receiving props and you can do picks on like your halfback receiving or receiving yards for wideouts and tight ends. So if you're going to go with that statement for this game specifically, it's a tough ask because obviously you have your Mark Andrews. So Mark Andrews opens up at 25 up to 110. I'd take Mark Andrews for 40 yards. I mean, come on, that's like his target. Then you have Mecole Hardman. I mean, I'm not even entertaining that. Then you have Rashee Rice. Is he even playing? I know he's the one now. They don't release Kadarius Toney, sign Juju. So Rashee Rice technically is the one, but I don't know. So like I'm probably not going to entertain that either. Then you have like Rashad Bateman. I'm not even going to worry about that either. Travis Kelce, obviously you got Travis Kelce here. He's got a 25 to 120 open and end. I like Travis for 50. I feel like that line could change if we find out like Rashee Rice isn't playing or something along those lines. That Travis Kelce, obviously his numbers will go up, but I like him for 50. We're playing it safe. We don't know how the season's going to run. Then of course, they drafted Xavier Worthy. I'm definitely going to take him for 25 and a minimum bet 25. Zay Flowers, I'll probably take him for 40. I think he's the one for the wide receiving core for Lamar Jackson. As far as everybody else, Noah Gray, let's see, Juju Smith-Schuster, stuff like we're not even gonna like entertain them. They're here, but they're not here today for us. So that's kind of like where I'm at with this game. So that's obviously Thursday kickoff. So let's dive into the Cardinals and Buffalo game. Hey, we're not judging over here. So obviously the Bills open up with a 5.5 point favorite, and they're favored on that end. So with a over under of 48 and the over being favored, they're playing at home. They have home field advantage. I don't even know who's on the Cardinals. Like, if I'm going to be honest with you, of course we know we got Kyler Murray, but I mean, where's he been? Hurt? Inconsistent? I don't know. We got, let's see. And we got Josh Allen. We got, I think James Conner still running the half behind him. Or not behind Josh Allen, but behind Kyler Murray and James Cook behind Josh Allen. But if we're going to go to these lines, we'll entertain it like we entertained them all. So we'll start off with passing props like we do for everything. So you got Josh Allen opens up 175 to 300. I like Josh Allen for 200 to 225. He done lost two of his wide receivers. We don't know how the offense is really going to click together with all this young talent, or maybe not talent. Who knows? We'll find out. But losing Stephon Diggs, losing Gabe Davis, I feel like they're going to rely a lot of tight end sets, heavy tight end sets, a lot of play action, a lot of dump offs to James Cook, screens, so on and so forth. So I like him for 225. I think the 200, 225 feels comfortable for me. Kyler Murray, he opens up at 175, caps at 300. 175 with a healthy Kyler Murray, an offensive line, and someone to actually throw the ball to. 175 is kind of low. Again, that 200 to 225. I think 225 might be pushing it for Kyler Murray. If you want to play it safe week one just to see kind of how he plays, just take the 175. I mean, it's minus 550, but you pair, let's see, hold on. Well, let's do the numbers for you. So if you pair that Josh Allen, 225, we'll say 225 for Josh Allen, and you pair that 175 of Kyler Murray together, it puts you out a negative 165. So that's not bad. So that's kind of like where I'm at on that. And if we switch to rushing props, I mean, James Conner, he's a 25 to 100, start to close runner. If I had to pick James Conner, they're probably going to force feed. I'm going to go 40. We're going to keep it safe. We'll say 40 or more rushing yards. I feel like that's a safe bet. James Cook, rushing yards. He opens at 25 up to 120. Now, clearly it's in his last name, let him cook. So I'm going to go and push him at 60. I like that 50 to 60, especially if Josh Allen's not passing, he's running, we'll just see. So we'll say 60. So if you pair just Josh Allen throwing the ball 225 or more yards, with Kyler Murray's 175, James Cook 60 rushing yards, and James Conner 40 rushing yards, that's a plus 330. You put 25 on that, you're banking an easy $100. So, I mean, I definitely like that. And if you're like me and you want to add, you're more of a risk taker for this, we'll go to the receiving side of things. You got Greg Dortch. I mean, if you want to put that on there, put that on there. I'm personally probably going to run Michael Wilson. I'll probably put 25 yards for Michael Wilson. Trey McBride, he's definitely an emerging tight end. I'm going to put 40 for him. I feel like that's going to be the favorite target out here. But honestly, there's nobody else. Like literally nobody else. If right as of right now. I mean, obviously we'll revisit these the night before, Saturday night before kickoff, and then Wednesday night before the Thursday night kickoff, we'll revisit these props and kind of finalize things now. But right now, they really don't have anybody else on here. So like I said, if you want to add Trey McBride, that boosts you up to a 4 plus 485. So that 25 runs you about $1.50 with the current odds now. So, me personally, these are all pretty good locks. If you stick around to the end of this episode, I'll give you one outlandish bet, crazy bet. I placed it all 17 weeks last year. I'm sorry, 18 weeks last year. And it hit 11 out of the 18 times. It's crazy. You have a better shot in the beginning of the season to hit them than you do at the later ends of the season. But like I said, if you stick around to the end, I will give you that one. So that's kind of that's where I'm at with the Cardinals and Bills game. Like I said, I'm taking the Chiefs and I'm taking the Bills. So that's where we're at for the first 2 games of the season. Next game, let's go Patriots and Bengals game. So you got Joe Burrow coming back. You got Drake May. I think he actually got the starting job in New England, or it's still up in the air. Who knows? I mean, Jacoby Brissett, cool, but like Drake May, right? So with this game opens with a 9.5 point favorite leaning towards the Bengals, which is crazy to me, but maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know. With a over under of 41, which is the under is being projected on. Let's check some of these passing stats. So if we go, so honestly, right now there is no passing stats available for this game. They don't have anything up. So let's go touchdowns. Let's go anytime touchdown scores for this game. And we can maybe put a little ticket in on this game. I know we're still, I think 8 days, 9 days. Let me think, what's today? Wednesday. 8 days out from kickoff, a week from tomorrow. Once we get closer, everything will be kind of set in stone. And so we can really dive in and actually put these direct locks in. But as of right now, we're just kind of going off of what's sitting here at the moment. So obviously I would take Jamar Chase if he plays. Jamar Chase. I like Ramondre Stevenson. So, I mean, you could take them for anytime touchdowns. I think Zach Moss is there. Is that their number one, Zach Moss? I don't know. But you could take Zach Moss for anytime touchdown as well. You pair them 3 up together. That's a plus 1,300. Add 25, $350 if them 3 score a touchdown. at any point in the game. Not too bad. Let's get out of that game. There's not a whole lot to talk about with that one. Let's try the, if it'll load for me. So then you have the Texans and you have the Colts. So CJ Stroud, and then you have, give me 1 second. So you have CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson, both of them opening up at a 200 to 325 spread. I think Anthony Richardson really had himself a good season last year. Towards the end, right before he hurt his shoulder, he was really figuring out that arm and leg combo. So I'm gonna go 225 or better for Anthony Richardson. I just feel that's pretty good. And as far as CJ Stroud goes, I'm gonna probably take him for 225 as well. Now for rushing yards, that's where it kind of gets hit or miss. They got Joe Mixon now in the backfield for the Texans. I'll probably take Joe Mixon for a solid 50. I think Joe can scoot the rock still. So I'm going to take him for 50, and I'm going to take Jonathan Taylor for 50 as well. Or 60, I'm sorry. 60 as well. That's a plus 525. Not too bad. I mean, like I said, you placed 25 on this one. It's a solid $150. So I'm not going to say that's a lock, but that sounds pretty reasonable. Let's see what other games are worth talking about. We got, the Titans and the Chicago Bears, right? That is going to be, I feel like that's going to be a test. The Titans aren't all that good, and the Bears aren't all that good. Now, on paper, they're amazing. Now, let's see what we can do putting it together, So they got Will Levis at passing. I mean, at quarterback, passing the ball still. He's a 50-50 hit or miss. He opens up at a 150 to a 275. I'm going to take Will Levis at 200 passing yards even. No, I'm sorry. I'm going to take Will Levis at 175. I just don't know. I'm hoping he turned it around. I just don't know. Now, see, they don't have a Caleb Williams passing stat in here yet. So we're not going to be able to make a bet on Caleb Williams at the moment, but we can guess. I'd probably take Caleb Williams somewhere between the 225 to 250 passing yards. I feel pretty good on that. They got Tony Pollard. I'll probably take Tony Pollard at a solid 40 rushing yards, and DeAndre Swift at a 40 rushing yards. I like that. And actually, Tony Pollard might break. Tony Pollard could possibly be your sleeper for about 60. So it's just not a whole lot to talk about, pick wise for some of these games. We have the Cowboys and Browns game. That one caught my eye because the Browns are hosting the Cowboys, but the Browns are favored. I'm sorry, but the Browns opening up as a 2.5 point favorite over the Cowboys just because they're hosting them. I'm not buying it. CD just got his $10 billion contract. Dak Prescott is still milking his $10 billion contract. CQLA just came back for, I don't know what, a Capri Sun and a bag of chips. I don't know. He went from first string to second to third to unemployed back to first. So he's done touch every wave of retirement in the NFL, I guess. But, all jokes aside, they're opening up at a 42 total over-under with the over 42 being favored. I think it'll go over 42. But I definitely see the Cowboys kind of wiping the Browns. I'm not going to lie to you. No pun intended. Let's see if they have any props open for this game. Doesn't look like they have any props open other than touchdown scores. So if we go anytime touchdown scores, obviously I'm probably going to go Zeke, CeeDee Lamb. I'll probably go David Njoku and Jerome Ford. Those sound pretty, you got Amari Cooper, Jake Ferguson too. But I feel like those are your safe ones. You each get a rush, you each get a pass. it's kind of a stretch. We'll just leave it at that. But I mean, even 25 on that will pay you $1,200. So you could just slap $10 on it, call it a solid $500 win or loss. I mean, still $10 is $10. Take it for what it is. So that's kind of like where I'm at on that game. Let's see what other games we have in here for these 1 o'clock matchups. Let's talk about one more game we could talk about would be the Commanders. Commanders versus the Bucks. Now the Bucks open up as a home favorite of 3.5, with the over under of 42.5, with the over being favored. Now I ain't gonna lie to you, I like Baker Mayfield. I'm glad he got his contract, but I like Jaden Daniels, man, and I like that plus 3.5 for Washington. Now, obviously, there's no players in here. Everybody's a rookie and so on and so forth. So there's no props yet for it. But I do like taking the underdog here. I mean, and if you feel real saucy, just take the money line at plus 150 for the Commanders to win that game. So it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of other games on the matchup list at the moment, just because everything is still being finalized with the season. So let's see. So, I mean, we can do a quick rundown. Give me a second. Bear with me. I'm going to pull up the full NFL schedule. And we'll talk about the matchups and who I think is going to win the outcomes of these games. So, week 1, obviously, we got Ravens versus the Chiefs. Thursday night kickoff. I'm going to take the Chiefs at home. Kind of have to. You don't have to, but I'll tell you all a secret. I'm a Steelers fan, so it's not going to be very often you're going to see me talk highly of the Ravens. I'm not going to be biased. I'm just going to be honest. Then you also have the Friday night game, the Packers-Eagles game. I'm going to take the Packers on the spread. I don't know what the spread's going to be. I know the Eagles are home favorites, but I'm still going to take the Packers on the spread. I feel like Jordan Love coming off his big contract, them getting Josh Jacobs in the backfield. I really feel like they're really pushing towards something. It might surprise a lot of people. Just like I feel like the Panthers are going to surprise a lot of people this year. I get Bryce Young had a rough season last year, number 1 overall draft pick bust, blah, blah, blah. I just feel like it's hard to look good when you're throwing to nobody. Yeah, you have Adam Thielen, but I mean, come on, dude. What's an Adam Thielen? So now they signed Deontay Johnson and traded for Deontay Johnson. They got themselves an offensive line, decent coach. I mean, it's coming together. At least it looked like it in preseason. I mean, we'll find out. But Panthers go ahead and take on the Saints. I think Derek Carr still sucks. Very inconsistent quarterback. He may not have his starting job. Spencer Rattler looked pretty darn good in the preseason, But what do I know? Panthers, Saints. It's a tough one, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick the Saints. They're at home. Chris Olave, Alvin Kamara coming off kind of a bum season. See what they can do. You got the Vikings at the Giants. Now, pre-J.J. McCarthy being out the entirety of the season, I would take the Vikings in a heartbeat. Sam Darnold, Mr. Icy Ghosts. I'm not 100% convinced that he can lead them to the promised land. So, I also don't believe in Daniel Jones. If we're going to be 100% honest here, Daniel Jones is terrible. I mean, dude can give you 500 in a game and then 6 the next. I mean, just come on, man. You talk about a real life goose egg, man. That's who he is. We're going to avoid that one. If I had to pick one, I don't know what the open and the spreads are for that game, but I'll probably take the Vikings. Who knows? We're just get that one off the list. You got Patriots and Bengals. Obviously, we're going to take the Bengals at home. Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow. New hairstyle. We're going to see how that goes. Steelers, Falcons. I know the spread on that game is a 3-point favorite for the home team Falcons. You got Kirk Cousins coming off a Achilles tear. New team. New ankle. Still old man. See how he goes. You got the Steelers coming off of the Kenny Pickett nightmare of the trifecta of last season. Still squeaked it out. Playoff appearance, no win. What else is new? They get the Justin Fields, the Russell Wilson. We'll see how. I mean, we'll see how they favor or they don't. Russell was named the starting quarterback today. However, Mike Tomlin did say do not basically look off a Justin Fields package like the Saints used to run a Taysom Hill package. We have a Justin Fields package, which, I mean, there's just too much talent sitting on the bench. So, like, I see what he's doing. And it shakes the offense up a little bit, you know? I'm probably going to lean towards my Steelers with the spread. So take them plus 3.5. Me personally. You have the Texans at the Colts. I do like the division matchup off rip. I do like that head to head. I feel like the Colts and the Texans have pretty even across the board. However, I feel like because Anthony Richardson did not have that season last year from start to finish, I feel like there's still going to be some rust he's throwing off that shoulder, some team chemistry he's still trying to build back up, where CJ Stroud came in here, led that team, and owned that team, and then all they did was add to that team. So I'm going to take the Texans over the Colts. Cardinals-Bills game, not much to talk about. We're taking the Bills. End of discussion. If you're a Cardinals fan, I apologize that you're a fan. That's it. That's all I'm apologizing for. Other than that, we have the Titans at Bears. I'm going to rock with the number one. We're going to go Caleb Williams, so I think the Bears are going to take it. Will Levis, I'm just not buying into it. If you know what I mean? It's cool, but whatever. Jaguars at the Dolphins. I don't know. Trevor Lawrence is pretty good. He got some targets this year. Our new receivers, 2 target this year. Tua is still Tua. He's good and he's not. I'm still probably gonna take the Dolphins. I'm gonna take the Dolphins at home. Broncos, Seahawks. That's gonna be a good game. That is going to be a good game. And honestly, it might surprise a lot of folk, but I'm going to take the Broncos over the Seahawks. You can take the spread because I feel like the Seahawks will be the favorite here. I'm going to take this. I would take the Broncos over the Seahawks. Raiders, Chargers. I'm probably gonna go Chargers. Nope, I lied. I'm going to go Raiders. I'm going to go Raiders over top of the Chargers. I just feel like the Raiders want it more, and I feel like they have better talent. Cowboys, Browns, we did discuss this earlier already. I'm going to take the Cowboys money line over the Browns. I'm not taking spreads. I don't feel sorry. I feel like whoever put these spreads out there is sorry. You got old touchy-feely at quarterback. You know, and with the Browns, he's been with them for 2-3 years, ain't played more than 6 games each year. I don't know what to tell you. I don't see it. I don't have faith. I mean, it's a regular season game, so the Cowboys should win. I mean, if this was a playoff game, I'd probably go the Browns just because Cowboys can't win a playoff game. But aside from that, we're going to move on to the Commanders and Bucks. We did talk about this game earlier, too. I do like Baker. Shout out Bake. But I think Jaden Daniels out of LSU, I think he's going to run and pass the ball all over the Buccaneers. I would take the Commanders spread. Sunday Night Football. The old team swap rivalry. Rams versus Lions. Matt Stafford versus not Matt Stafford. Jared Goff. I'm taking Lions. Lions are hosting the Rams. The Lions are on the up. Dan Campbell. Sam Laporta. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jahmyr Gibbs. The team doesn't stop. And yeah, they got Puka Nacua. They got Cooper Kupp back. They got Matt Stafford back there. They got Kyrie Williams, Williams, the running back there. I think it's going to be a close game. I still feel like the Lions are hosting the W to the Rams. The Monday night game. This is going to be the game, I feel like, that's going to solidify either team. So you got the Jets taking on the 49ers. 49ers are hosting at home. Obviously, they're probably favored if I had to guess. Jets, we get our first take of Aaron Rodgers with the Jets. It only took a year and a half and a new ankle. Um, we'll see how it goes. I mean, you got, Brees Hall, you got Garrett Wilson. I just drew a blank real quick. They also, the 49ers doing with the whole Brandon Ayuk situation. They still got CMC, a full healthy CMC. There's a lot. There's a lot to take in on this. And I mean, I want to say the obvious answer and say, yeah, we're going to go 49ers here. But I mean, if the Jets can cook together a formula with Aaron Rodgers and Brees Hall and Garrett Wilson and everybody else and Sauce Gardner, we can play football like the Jets play football. But now you got Aaron Rodgers back there. I mean, you could give the Niners a run for their money, especially if their number one is taken away and Deebo Samuel's their number one. Elijah Mitchell was just ruled out for the season, so I don't even know who's back in CMC. But I mean, that just caps it off. So I'm gonna probably take the 49ers, or I have to see what the spread is for the Jets. I mean, if they open up at like a 4.5 or a full touchdown, I'm probably gonna take the Jets on the spread. But I mean, other than that, that pretty much concludes my week one picks. And like I said, we're still 8 days away. So half the picks aren't even in here. Some of the rosters aren't even updated. There's still quarterback controversy, like in New England. We're still trying to figure out what's going on. So Brandon Ayuk could be black and yellow, could be, back to the night. We don't know. So until we do know, we're just going to kind of play where we're at right now. I think personally, I'm going to revisit. So next Thursday is kickoff. I will revisit the Chiefs and Ravens game alone, probably Wednesday, or I'll do it Wednesday night, and we'll go over probably about 4 or 5 parlays, a couple picks. We'll go over stats and matchups now that everything's kind of locked. And then for the Friday game, I'll probably go over that one. I'll probably do the Thursday and the Friday game on Wednesday next week. And then Sunday, you will get your matchups and your locks on Saturday, as well as possibly Sunday morning. I am not sure, but I'll definitely drop one Wednesday as well as Saturday of next week. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we're in for a really good season. This was just a quick introductory. We're episode 1 of the podcast. Hopefully we can grow into something better. I'm just starting off. This is raw, uncut. I'm just rambling at this point. I don't know what to talk about. If you think this was cool and helpful, that'd be great. Drop a comment, subscribe if you like it. The comments help me because I'm assuming I'm good until I'm not. So if you feel like something needs to change, or you want more input, or you just are unsure, just let me know. I mean, it's cool. Don't forget to follow my TikTok. It's a page dedicated just for this. I drop, small updates, small clips, what's going on around the league, updates, news. I also do snippets of like parlay, quick 10-second parlay clips, stuff like that. Quick cash outs, nothing crazy. But yeah, I mean, we're in for one hell of a season. I'm hoping to do two episodes a week. I'm definitely going to push one, but I like to do 2 episodes a week. We'll do Wednesdays and Saturdays. I will update shorts throughout the week, a couple small videos for picks and stuff like that. But as far as like these 30-minute, 45 to an hour long videos, we are definitely going to push them about twice a week. And there will be an occasional live stream, nighttime live stream. We can discuss picks, talk about what's going around the league, other sports too. Baseball's going on right now, so I'll put a couple parlay picks in for baseball. But thank you for sticking to the end. And the one crazy parlay that I put in every year, every week, and I'll put it in and I'll discuss it in detail with you guys. But right now, there's only one game, maybe 2 games that are actually available to do it on. So what you would do is you would go to, I use DraftKings. You would go to your sports betting platform of your choice. And you would basically go to the NFL tab and you would click on the game. So we'll start with the Chiefs and Ravens. You would go to the passing props. I think Lamar Jackson is going to throw for at least 175. I'm going to pick him for 175. Mahomes will go 225. And then what you do is you click out of that game and you go to the next game. And the next game on this list would be Packers and the Packers and the Eagles game. So then you would do the same situation. You would go to passing props. You look at Jordan Love, and you're like, all right, I think Jordan Love's going to throw a solid 225. Jalen Hurts, I like him for 200. So then you back out, and now you got a 4-pick parlay for plus 133. You go down and do that for 10 games, put $10 on it, it'll pay you out at least $1,000. High few hundreds to $1,000 depending on your spreads, but I did it last year and I won 11 out of 18 weeks. So just a little over 50%, about 70% last year, 65, something like that. So, but yeah, stick around, check out my socials. Like I said, check out my TikTok for more parlay updates. But yeah, I mean, appreciate y'all for watching and stay tuned for episode 2 coming sometime this weekend. Peace.